that are active in that part of the country. That was one of the reasons why it was suspended during the time. Gold is by far Mali's most important exports, comprising more than 80% of total exports in 2021. That's according to the International Trade Administration, which is the agency, it's one of the agencies of the U.S. Department of Commerce. I just read that. I just literally read that out of that report. It says gold is by far Mali's most important export, and it comprises more than 80% of total exports in 2021 alone. Return to the east again for a minute. Yeah, we're hearing also great reports from Kenya. There are clashes here and there, and it's President's church donation. That's how it was captured. Anyway, so this is how the story goes. It says that police in Kenya have fired tear gas to disperse protesters who tried to occupy a church that was recently given a substantial donation by President Ruto. Do you remember that earlier on in the year, this story or a story similar to this one made headlines where a church bishop refused to accept. He said, let the money be used for something else to, improve the lives of the people of Kenya, for instance, but he would not accept the donation. Anyway, I guess the president found another church that was willing to accept the donation, and some people heard of it. They were not happy about it, so they decided to do a protest against it, and they tried to occupy the church that was given that substantial donation by the president. It was actually 20 million shillings. Yeah. 20 million shillings. That's about $155,000. $155,000 given as donation, to a church by a sitting president. And of course, I don't know if you remember, I think late last year, it was a major issue that, in fact, it was major civil unrest in different parts of Nairobi. I think that was before the End Bad Governance protest in Nigeria. Some people argue that the protest in Kenya, and what's it called now? It's not encouraged. I'm looking for the word. Inspired, yes. Inspired the End Bad Governance protest in Nigeria, because people were protesting, some of the moves by the president, the standard of living in Kenya, and all of that. But the president somehow was able to find time and convenience to donate 20 million shillings to a church, the Jesus Winners Ministry, in the Roysambu suburb of Nairobi. Anyway, that action drew criticism from some Kenyans struggling with the high cost of living, which birthed that protest in Kenya at that period. If you've been following the news, you would know exactly what it is I am talking about. It was massive. It was massive. Shops were boggled, if I was like a total lockdown shutdown, it was a face of government forces and the people, tear gas throwing. Some people even reportedly died after that period. And a few months down the line, we're hearing such a generous action from the President, William Ruto. But then again, you wonder, how were the people supposed to take this news, right? Not to say anything, but it's just a question. How were they supposed to take the news when they were struggling with the high cost of living? Perhaps if it was a philanthropist or someone not in government, maybe just a random person who made a donation, it may not take center attention, as it is having right now that a sitting president of a country where people are struggling with the high cost of living is making such donations. In defense, though, in response, or in what's it called now? In his defense, the president said he had to offer a similar gift to another church in Eldoret to balance what was going on. And you wonder why. Why? Why? When just last year we heard news that some bishops and at least I know some the news was about Catholic and some Anglican leaders rejecting donations outrightly from the president, arguing that there was a need to protect the church from being used for political purposes. As I said earlier, maybe the president found a church that was willing to take it after all. Now to South Africa before we end up in Nigeria. I'm trying to decide on which one is going to be. Okay, let's just do Nigeria. You know that top of the hour, 8 o'clock, will be, shifting focus to news headlines from across Nigeria. We have the papers ready for us to look through them. Some headlines on Vanguard caught my attention already. I'd say really sad reports, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. In fact, the big story on Vanguard today is one of concern. Yeah, it's one of serious concern. But then we'll get into it when it is time for that. For now, we're hearing that some sort of good news is coming to Nigeria. Vital leprosy drugs are due to come into Nigeria after a recorded delay. So people that are affected by leprosy in Nigeria, according to the reports, should be able to get a hold of vital drugs to treat the disease for the first time in a year. That's what the World Health Organization has said. Do you know that every single year we get a report of about 2,000 new cases? Yeah. 2,000 new cases. That's according to the report from the World Health Organization. And we also know that the bank, that is the drug bank, runs out of supplies, partly because drugs were held up after new regulations were introduced. Anyway, so the World Health Organization has said that it has asked Nigeria to briefly lift its new testing policy. And after lifting the policy, we're expecting the drugs to arrive from India. Cool stuff. Because of the lack of drugs in Nigeria, patients have been sent home from hospitals. As the drug suppressed transmission, pardon me, I'm going to have to take that again. That part, I'm reading it out. It says the drugs suppress transmission, and this increases the risk of the disease spreading. That is the lack of the supply of the drugs. Allows for the risk of the disease to spread. Dr. Samino Mshiliza, who is a public health expert and a medical advisor at the Nigerian branch of the Leprosy Mission, recently highlighted the need for medication. And he said the quicker we have the drugs, the better. Because currently, these people are suffering. Their transmission is ongoing because they are not being treated. I think in the end, the cry was heard. And over the weekend, some should have arrived already, and we're expecting more during the course of the coming days. Congratulations to us as a country. And that's where we draw the curtains on news from around Africa. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock, I'll be back with what's happening around Nigeria. Stay with us. It is an FM 93.7. I am Diddy.